This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Today's Shiur is sponsored. Joe's going to announce the sponsorship. Thank you.
Today's Shiur is sponsored by Harold and Sally Foreman. In memory of Harold's mother, Rhoda Foreman, Rachel Bas Avram. His yard site is 3 days in Teves. Shalom Shalom Aliyah.
Okay, thank you very much, Joe. Shalom Shalom Aliyah. We appreciate the dedication. Okay, so it's a very short day. And we're going to have 2 shiurim today. The first on the Parsha. We have 5 Divrei Torah on the Parsha. If anybody wants these sheets, you could go to our site, rabbidg.com, and they're available. You just go to Elevate, your Shabbos table, and it's there on every Friday, or you could get it to your inbox. You hit the red subscribe button. Let's start with the words of the Chassam Sofer. The Chassam Sofer says in the Pasuk, Vayikra Paroi Shem Yosef Tzafnas Paneach. Paroi calls Yosef Tzafnas Paneach, the one who uncovers the secrets, and he gives him Asnas as a wife. Vayetze Yosef al Eretz Mitzrayim, and Yosef goes out over the land of Egypt. So the Chassam Sofer picks up and is alert to the fact that the pasuk starts off by saying that Paroi changed Yosef's name to Tzafnas Paneach, so it should say Vayetze Tzafnas Paneach al Eretz Mitzrayim. Says the Chassam Sofer, obviously Yosef did not really accept this change. Yosef said, despite the fact that the most powerful emperor in the world, the most powerful king in the world changed my name, I will still be identified as Yosef. So he could call me Tzafnas Paneach, Vayetze Yosef el Eretz Mitzrayim. Says the Chassam Sofer in Parshas Vayechi, when Yaakov meets Yosef's children, he said, Mi Eila, who are these kids? And Yosef says, Banayhem asher nasan li elikim bazeh. They're my kids that God gave me with this. Rashi said, he showed him the stark suba. Says the Chassam Sofer, asher nasan li elikim bazeh. What he was saying is, look at the name on the ksuba. It doesn't say Tzafnas Paneach married Asnas. Even though Vayikra Parshem Yosef Asnas, in the ksuba it says Yosef. That's what Yosef was highlighting to Yaakov Avinu. Let's do the next one. The remez of the Rogatchover. An amazing chiddush the Rogatchover told Rabbi Chanan. This is brought, quoted in the Sefer Talalei Oiros, Mipi Hashmua. He says that the Targum translates the word Vayegalach here different than any other place in Tanakh. Everywhere else he translates Vayegalach as Vigilach, a complete shave. Here it's Visapar, like a trim. Why the change? Says the Rogatchover, because Yosef had a unique halachic status. Namely, he was a Nazir. Like the pasuk says, Ulekad ka'id nazir echav. So Nazir can't have a full haircut. You're learning now in Daf Yomi Masechta Tainis. Someone's hair is long, mekel batar. They could take a razor and lighten it a little bit. So, therefore, that's why the Targum changes the regular nusach of Vigal, instead of saying Vigilach, but Visaper. One more. The Sefer Ben Ish Chai. By the way, once we're on the topic of the Ben Ish Chai writes that on Shabbos Chanukah, you should increase your Su'udah more than a regular Shabbos. And now we know on Rosh Chodesh, you should be marbe besudasai. So this meal is going to be a big meal this Shabbos. Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, Chanukah. I gave a little clip this morning. You know, there's a zemer that's attributed to the Ibn Ezra for Shabbos Chanukah. It's called Ichlu Mashmanim V'Soilas Revucha L'Tzorch Shabbos Chanukah. Basically, it's about all the delicacies that you're going to eat for Shabbos Chanukah. Shas Tshuvas Marie Bruna asks, what do you mean? Sudas Chanukah or Sudas Rishus? So he did not allow the Zemer to be sung. He did not accept it was from an authentic place. But we explained that even if you hold Sudas on Chanukah or Sudas Rishus, Shabbos Chanukah, the extra Kedusha of Chanukah, everyone would agree would be moisef to the Suda of the Shabbos. Okay, now the Ben Ish Chai has a sefer called Berchas Hareach. The Berchas Hareach is a wondrous sefer in that it was discovered in a Iraqi military base in Saddam Hussein's military compound. Saddam Hussein gathered all the various manuscripts throughout the country and he put it in his compound. When the American army they bombed the compound, it hit a pipe, it flooded, and all these manuscripts were flooded. They sent in special experts in manuscript, and they wanted to separate the Arabic writing from the Hebrew writing. The Ben Ish Chai's handwriting looked very Arabic, and therefore it was not placed in with the other manuscripts. It was only discovered much, much later. So we thank President George Bush for fighting a war against Saddam Hussein, and one of the main purposes of that was to be able to have this Dvar Torah this morning, the Ksavim of the Ben Ish Chai. Anyway, he says that there are a number of lessons we can learn from this pasuk. Now, Paro asks rhetorically, is there a man like this who has the Spirit of God in him? The word Ish has a Zakef Gadol. Now, Zakef Gadol is a Vav and 2 Yuds. You ever look at a Zakef Gadol? The trup is a Vav and 2 Yuds. Line, 2 short lines. Yud Ke Vav Ke, 26. The word Zakef Gadol, 26. By the way, the Ramami Pano writes, that's why by Amalek it says, Zachayr Zakef Gadol, because Amalek caused God's name to be diminished. But when we remember to destroy Amalek, God's name is fulfilled. Now, what Paro was saying is, this is a man that has God in him. He is connected to the Ribbon Hashem. Furthermore, Paro gave him Big Day Sheish. What's the significance of Sheish? Sheish's, Yosef's name is 6 times Yud Ke Vav Ke. 6 times 26, Gematria Yosef. Therefore, Paro also indicating his connection to the Shem Havaya, he gave him Big Day Sheish. Furthermore, Sheish has a Gematria of 600, indicating that Yosef was in control of both of his Yetzar. Yetzar Tov, Yetzar is 300, and Yetzara 300. Okay, these are 3 Divrei Torah in English. We're going to now go to the Ben La'ashri. Again, you could go on our site, print it out. I want to thank the Levitan family for creating the Parsha sheet in English, and I thank my good friend Rabbi Aaron Subar for loading up all this information onto the site. This is Parshas Mikeitz, the Ben La'ashri. By the way, we said in years past, this doesn't count toward the 5. More than any other parsha in the Torah, Rashi quotes the Targum more in Parshas Mikeitz than any other parsha in the Torah. And that is because the Ben Lashri says that Yavan tried to secularize the Torah, so to combat that, we have to extend the Kedusha of the Torah to even other languages. Specifically Chanukah time in Parshas Mikeitz. Okay, let us see as follows. Yosef recognized the brothers, they didn't recognize him. So the Ben La'ashri, the Tzak Ranana, quotes Hagoin Revelvela Stretikover. That Rashi says that here's the problem. How in the world did the brothers not recognize Yosef? Especially Rashi says on the pasuk Ben Zekunim that Yosef was a spitting image of Yaakov Avinu. He looked exactly like Yaakov. Oh, because Yosef left without a beard and now he has a beard, so now he should look exactly like Yaakov Avinu. The fact that he has a beard should it's a dead giveaway. Imagine if, people were taken by a king and the king looked exactly like your father. Spitting image. Would you ever stop and say for a second, Dad? Why didn't the brothers realize who they were talking to? He's the king of Egypt and he looks exactly like Yaakov Avinu. So he says as follows. He says, it's Pashat that Mipnei Yiras Hamalchus, they didn't gaze straight at him. You don't look straight at the king. You're sort of at a distance. In fact, the Ben Lashri says in the piece before that there's a Balaturim that says Vehem lo hikiru, and we have another pasuk Vayiru oisai meirachaik v'lo hikiru. So what's the connection between the two lohi kiruhus? He says the Ben Lashri as follows, that the pasuk is coming to teach us. You know why they didn't recognize Yosef HaTzadik? Because vayiru oisai meirachak v'hikiruh mibnei emas hamalchus. They didn't let anybody get close. They looked at him from a distance. That's why when Yosef said, "It's me," they didn't see it. He said, "Geshuna, come a little close and get an actual look," and you'll see exactly who we're talking about. Okay. One last thought. A lot of the preparations that Yosef did, he was following the halacha. For example, Chazal say in Chulin, and Dav Tzadi Aleph Amid Aleph, Utavayach Tevach v'Hachein, that he uncovered the Beis Hashchita. Or, v'Hachein, the Medrash says he was preparing for Shabbos. I mean, here it is, he's trying to cover up his identity. So why is he doing all these Jewish practices over here? And the Ben Lashri says that Utavayach Tevach v'Hachein is not what Yosef did. It's what Yosef told his people in between to do in preparation. Now, who's Yosef going to get to be the go-between between him and the brothers? He got someone who spoke Hebrew. And the Ben Lashri says it could be. He even got one of Yaakov Avinu's Talmidim. And therefore, to make them comfortable, you know, when you go into the royal palace, they make sure to get kosher food, and they did everything kedasu kedin. But it's not that Yosef himself was observing these practices, but instead, this was the guy in between, the mediator. He was fulfilling utavayach tevach v'achein. By the way, you know the Rishonim bring down, if you take the word tevach v'achein, the ches in v'achein is Chanukah. And it's also Gematria 44. The Utavayach Tevach is 19. Utavayach is Tevach v'Hachein is 44. Those are the 44 candles of Hanukkah. Okay. So these are your 5 Divrei Torah on Parshas Mikeitz, and we're going to go now to the Shiur on Tefillah.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.